matter how much we love the heroes, a good villain can make or break the show. It's boring to watch strong protagonists that defeat the villains all the time, while cunning, brainy antagonists keep the story intense, especially if they keep the heroes on edge. So if you are interested in truthfully smart villains that give thrills to the story, let's check out today's list of K-drama villains so smart they almost win. Number 1. Ruoteo, Gapdong. Based on a real-life cold case, Gapdong introduces us to the fictional city of Iltan, where a total of 9 people were killed by a serial murderer. The police nicknamed this criminal Gapdong, and through poor investigation, believed that the town resident Ha Ik-sik was behind it all. However, the man committed suicide to prove his innocence, prompting his son Muyeon to become a police officer in order to clear his father's name. 17 years later, and Muyeon has become resigned, believing that Gapdong has long been dead. Yet, a series of incidents occur, bearing eerie resemblance to Gapdong's handiwork, and as such, the chase begins all over again. Well, spoiler alerts. There are actually 2 major villains for this series. Of course, there's Gapdong, the true culprit behind the murders of the past. But our focus today is on the second villain, Ruoteo, a genius barista who idolized Gapdong and, as such, committed copycat crimes. Throughout the series, Teo proved himself to be extremely intimidating. He's got an IQ of 150 and has an excellent and detailed memory. He's also a total psychopath with an obsession, never feeling empathy as he hunts down his victims and draws satisfaction from watching people wither in pain. Teo's smarts also means that he leads the heroes by the nose on multiple occasions, with his erratic behavior that our heroes never get to nail. In some cases, he may even seem like a good man, making us question if he's truly without feelings. Idol-turned-actor Lee Jun did such a spectacular job portraying the character that every aspect of this character just creeps us out. Even in the end, he was not defeated by the protagonists, but rather by the very man he admired. Which begs the question, would Teo be even scarier if he hadn't been a copycat? Number 2. Jang Dae-hee, Itaewon Class. Contrary to Gapdong, there's no killing in Itaewon Class, unless you count the car accident that killed the male lead's father at the series' beginning. It doesn't make the villain any less scary though. And in this case, we're talking about Chairman Jang, who undebatably triumphed for most of the series' course. For context, the plot of Itaewon Class follows Park Se-roy, who opened the restaurant/bar Danbam in the bustling street Itaewon. He desires to be hugely successful, gathering people from different backgrounds, all in order to topple the Janga group and seek revenge for his father. And of course, the major hindering stone on Se-roy's path is none other than Jang Dae-hee, CEO of Janga. He's a self-made man that had gone from rags to riches, had got years of experience under his sleeve, and is cruel, merciless, and willing to grind Park Se-roy like dirt under his heels. Throughout the entire series, we get to see Jang Dae-hee continuously crushing the heroes. He sent the protagonist to jail, bought Danbam's location, ruined Se-roy's alley, and even scammed him out of all money. He's willing to drop his son in a heartbeat, never ceasing to send our protagonist into dead ends. At certain times, it even feels like our protagonist is just winning merely by being lucky. Because what are the chances that the grandma who often visits your shops is actually a billionaire whose long-lost grandson is an employee of your store? Honestly speaking, Park Se-roy had managed to come out as a victor due to the many people assisting him. It was a very convincing underdog tale, but at times, we really had to admire the villain. Number 3. Lady Michelle, Queen Son-duk. Many of you may have never heard about this drama, but trust me, when it comes to a great cunning villain, it's completely impossible to miss out on Lady Michelle. Queen Son-duk follows Princess Dokman, who, due to a prophecy, had to be sent away from the palace and live with the king's loyal servant So-hwa. She was raised as a normal child, but soon found out her real identity and reunited with her twin sister. However, after her father died, Lady Michelle attempted to overthrow the current royal family, resulting in the sister's death. As such, Dokman was once again without family, and set out to take back her true position by bringing Michelle down. Honestly, despite Dokman being the main character, most of the series' events actually revolved around the ambitious yet extremely talented Lady Michelle. She was a royal concubine who had stayed with 3 kings, yet still standing strong, and was willing to get her hands dirty. However, she did not obtain everything via cruelty, but rather built everything with wits. She understands that no power can surmount the feelings of her citizens, and utilized her knowledge of science and politics to win people's hearts. She was proficient in martial arts herself, and had participated in multiple battles, winning the favor of the official army to secure her position. In fact, most people did not follow her because of fear. Rather, they acknowledged her talent and her ability to rule. She was also not blind by power, but rather remained true to herself until the end of her time. It was through much hard work, combined with Michelle's underestimation, that our heroine managed to win back the throne. Even then, they treated each other as equals, and Dokman took to Michelle like a master to learn from. In many senses, Lady Michelle is a villain that's hard to hate. Her defeat has been highly anticipated, and yet at her fall, we can't help but feel sorry for her. Queen Sonduk provides a thrilling battle until the very end, and with it, one of the most worthy villains. Finally, we are reaching the end of the list, but as there's no means to fit in all the great cunning villains, here are some honorable mentions. Nam Gyuman, Remember, War of the Sun. Jung Barum, Mouse. Kang Do-young, Liar Game. Jung Sun-ho, Hello Monster. And last but not least, our last entry is none other than the very familiar Min Jun-guk of I Hear Your Voice. Yes, you have probably heard of this drama, which stars the very popular Lee Jong-suk and Lee Bo-young. The series is all about the public defender Jang Hye-sung, who, after acting as a witness to a past murder incident, had locked herself as a target for the villain. After her burst of bravery and youth, however, she had turned apathetic and uncaring of it all, only doing her work for the money. She soon encountered the handsome Park Soo-ha, a high school senior who had always looked up to Hye-sung due to her testimony in the past, only to find her completely different. Here's a twist. He can actually read minds. And together, they have to fend off the evil Min Jung-guk together. And honestly, while Jung-guk isn't over-the-top genius, he still managed to bring our leads down on multiple occasions. He managed to track down the female lead, won her mother's trust, and made the female lead suffer in the worst way possible. Worst, he managed to escape his sentence by brainwashing the second male lead, got himself unjustly released, and walked completely free, despite his crimes. He even managed to overturn the table, turning our male lead into a suspect and himself an innocent victim. It took a great deal to take this guy down, even though he had no connection, wealth, or any assistance. I'd call Jung-guk a psychopath, except he was actually doing it all for his wife. Still, it remains a fact that this guy was extremely evil, and remains among one of the most bone-chilling villains that had almost managed to completely screw up our heroes. So that's our list of cunning masterminds that came really close to defeating the protagonists. What about you? Do you have any villains you find extremely cunning and wouldn't want to go up against? Have you ever fallen for a villain due to their wits? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more videos like this, remember to like, share, and subscribe to bbalidrama. See ya!